to every school, college, university and public library, absolutely free of charge. Every mosque and madrasa, absolutely free of charge. Look, we are offering. What our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would have done, we are trying to do, wallah. Without those petrodollars, we haven't got those petrodollar pipelines connected yet. But we are able to sweat, and we are giving this. Free to every school, college, university and public library, free. Every mosque and madrasa, free. And to the general public, £5 each. We haven't got the same big market the Christians have, but £5 each. As if it is stolen property or insolvent or liquidation stock. Stolen property. I said, look, what you worried about? Brother, you get it. Take it. How we got it, what we do, you want me to explain? Don't waste my 10 minutes. I'm going to waste my 10 minutes telling you how I do it, how I manage it. Don't worry about that. It's yours. Then, I quoted you a verse. You know where it was from? From Surah Sabah. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا كَافَّةً لِلنَّاسِ بَشِيرًا وَنَذِيرًا وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Where do you find it in the Quran? In this encyclopedia? Where? 2,000 pages. Where are you going to find this now? I said, go and check up, man. Check up. Anybody gives you any reference, go and check up at home. Not that you distrust the speaker, but for your own benefit. If you go and check it up, if you see it with your own eyes, and if you read it again, it'll become your property. Then you'll be able to share. And the more you share, the more knowledge you will get. I said, this is from Surah Sabah. Now, how do you find Surah Sabah in this book? How? Page through, 2,000 pages. Where will you find Sabah? Can anybody tell me? Yes. This one has an index. Unlike the Arabic Quran, from childhood I was reading, no index, no contents. You just start reading from Surah Fatiha, Alif Lam Mim and the whole Quran. We don't know. We were used to Yasin. We know where Yasin is. Because if somebody was dying, our fathers told us, they said, look, you read Yasin Sharif, and then the person's ruh, departs in peace. So we were reading. Our granny is going, our mother is dying, anybody else dying, sit down with Yasin. So we knew where Yasin was. But Sabah, where are you going to find? So index. This one has a very comprehensive index. And the S, look for Sabah. It'll tell you chapter 38. I'm sorry, chapter 34. 34 is easy to find because every page is numbered. Then I said, verse number 28. 28 is easy to find. Go and read what Allah says. Like that, everything on your fingertips. This beautiful encyclopedia, everything. What do you want to know? You want to know about marriage and the M. You want to know about divorce and the D. You want to know about heaven or hell and the H. What do you want to know? You want to know about Jesus and the J. Just open and the J. Visitors come to your house, non-Muslim, call them. What you wait for them? Call them. Your neighbors, call them for a cup of tea and your bhajas and samosas and your curry and rice. Wallah, you don't know what you can achieve with that. You don't know its worth, wallah, that your curry and rice can captivate and enslave people. People love our food, you know that? I'm speaking especially to the Pakistani and the Hindustani fellow. I don't know about the Arab food. It's not so, I don't know. The Lebanese cook very well, and I don't know about the Egyptians so much. But look, generally, our food, compared to the insipid food of the Englishman, insipid, not tasteless. Only salt and pepper, ours has got some kick in it. Give it to him, man. And you see how he falls for you, wallah. Then, before he parts, he said, look, have you seen the Quran? He says, no. So have you got an English translation? He says, yes. Would you like to have a look at it? Nobody says no. This is the nature of man. He says, no. He says, yes, have a look. Open the book. The birth of Jesus, Surah Al-Imran. Where is Imran? Chapter 3. In the index you'll find Imran is 3. Ayah 42. Open it. Read it to him in Arabic. Allah's kalam has power. It moves people to ecstasy and tears. Even non-Muslims, Allah tells us in the Quran that whenever signs are rehearsed to them, those people who are sincere among them, it says tears well up in their eyes. I have seen it again and again. Non-Muslims. When Qari Abdul Samad Abdul Basit, he came to South Africa, he was reading at the Jummah Masjid Durban, and I had come a little late. I had dropped my family, and where I dropped my family, there was a French Catholic priest standing in the doorway, and there was a horn there, loudspeaker. And the Qari, Abdul Samad, Abdul Basit, had already started reading. And I could see this man swaying in the doorway. Yes, not understanding a word. He's swaying, as if, he's trance, he's in a trance. Allah's Quran can do that. Why don't you? Do something, talk to him, read to him, explain to him. Look, you are all here, my dear brothers and sisters. Allah has sent you here for a purpose. Not to eat, drink, and make merry, have a good time. We are all having a good time. Compared to our people back home, wherever you come from, whether in Egypt, or whether in Pakistan, or Bangladesh, or India, wherever you come from, you are better off here than in your own motherland. Otherwise, you won't be staying here. Economically, materially, you are better off. Even if you are unemployed, they give you the dole. Look, you are well off. I know one man bluffed me when I said, in my country, I offer 5 rands each. That's actually the old rate, £2.10 each. And I said, if you can't afford it, just write and tell me why I should give you one for nothing. I'll give it to you for nothing. So some of your brothers here, they came across that advert. They write to me. He says, look, I got half a dozen children and I'm unemployed. Please, can I have one free? Oh, I feel pity for the man, compassion for the man. I sent him one free from South Africa. Then when I came here, I discovered that the man who's got half a dozen children and a wife and unemployed, man, he's a king. He can save money. Yes, he even saves money. When I'm going around, some brothers take me around and they take me home, give me tea and biscuits and all that, and time to eat, they give me food. I said, brother, what you doing? He said, I'm unemployed. I feel the food hard to go down. Wallah, he's unemployed. I'm cruel to him, look what I'm doing to him, I'm doing injustice to him. So he said, look, Muta, big brother, don't worry. He says, we're all right. You got no excuse. Wallah, you got no excuse. Financially, you got no excuse. £5, no excuse. So, get this book. Your English will improve. Your English. Construction of sentences for the Arab, I'm telling you, so your English. I've told them in the Arab countries. You want to improve your English? Here. Everything is here. Allah's Kalam. You read. Sawab, sawab, sawab. Blessings. Construction of sentences. New vocabulary. Everything on your fingertips. My dear brother, I'm not trying to sell you this because I might get some commission. But look, get it. That address is given there. And I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity of coming and talking to you this afternoon. And if there are any questions, I know I might have said hard things, harsh things. See, this old man, he has come out that way, you see, in life. I have been, from childhood, you see, I was very weak. I was very weak. Big in bones and all that, big, tall, but I was very weak. So I had to learn boxing. I learned judo. I learned karate. I did weightlifting. I did swimming. All this, what for? Because I was very weak. I want to make up for it. So now it creates that type of mentality. You see, once you go through all these processes, then your mentality changes. I was timid, afraid of getting hurt. Now I says, no, man, I think for every 2 you give me, I can give you 1 at least. So you see that mentality. So now my voice changes, my voice is like that, and my actions are like that. You don't find a 70-year-old man doing things like that and talking like this. You can't. This is because of that, all what I have been going through all my life. So you say, now this guy is getting hot under the collar. No, I don't get hot under the collar. This is me. What can I do? I can't squeak like a mouse. I can roar only. I'm made that way. So if I talk to you a bit loud, I'm not trying to scold you or try to frighten you. This is my way. What can I do? So any questions that you have? Yes, Akhi brother. Oh, yes, ya Sheikh, I'm sorry.
Let me nothing is to thank, more than to thank our brother for his enlightening lecture. I'd like to say some words, few words. I'm not going to apologize for Egypt. But today I felt the weight of Egypt in the whole Muslim world. And what Muslims in the whole world are expecting Egypt to do. and it is our privilege. I can assure you, all of you, that all of you know Sheikh Sha'rawi. He has a program to comment and do tafsir of the Holy Quran. So many times when I was in Egypt, I heard him talking about the verses concerning Jesus and the Trinity and so on so. And the man is very, very effective and well versed. And he says that in the television, it is recorded and it is distributed everywhere. But it doesn't mean that I'm saying that Egypt does all what people expect us to do. We are still beginners in that field. And I can tell you something, that a great or a big shot in that big figure in the church by name Ibrahim Khalil, he was astonished at the bitterest enemy I ever have seen in Egypt against Islam, and alhamdulillah now he is a Muslim and preaching Islam. His name is Ibrahim Khalil, and he is still carrying the name. I'm not going to tell you what happened in my village. The priest, when he embraced Islam, it is true that nobody preached Islam to him, but he embraced Islam and sent to my uncle to give witness that he became a Muslim, and he asked him, would you please, I will die in such and such a date, and I will die in such and such a moment, would you please come to take me to bury me with my Muslim people? And he said to him, look, if there is any conflict, because we have a good number in our village, I'm very sorry for that, we have a good number, and we didn't work within them, as he says, we have a good number of Christians. And he said to him, if you find that the Muslims and the Christians will have the conflict and they will start fighting, leave me for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he will relieve me from any problem and leave me to Allah. So my uncle went there, and it started fighting. The police came, the Attorney General came, and there was a big fight. So at last he went to the body of that priest and said to him, so and so, I did all what I can do, and I carried out your will. Now I'm helpless. I can't do anything. As you told me, I will leave you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And asked the Muslims to scatter. What happened? They buried him as a Christian, and after 3 days they said the Muslims stole his buyer, his body, because it was not there, and they said the Muslims stole it. Anyhow, now I felt the responsibility as an Egyptian. I felt the responsibility. I feel that the most of the people or the Muslim world are expected from us to do more and more, but sometimes we are weak, and sometimes I quote a verse from the Holy Quran when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to his prophet, إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. You will not guide whom you like, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave guidance to whom he likes. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to excuse myself, no, but it is our responsibility, and thanks to our brother who evoked us and provoked us in our minds to do more and more. Now let us start the questions.
Why you don't start some kind of course for us to teach us instead of just bring us in a church and you go for a year? Under the fee outside, we start the course and we join you. That's the question.
I will repeat it for you. We have started a course in the international, a course for Muslims from all over the world, and the question was, well, look, lecturing is good, we like it and we appreciate it, but what about starting a course of training people to do the job? That is, I think, more or less the question is. So I'm replying to that now that we had already started with such an idea. We knew that this must be done, and we had a course starting from the 1st of March to the 30th of April. We have students from about 18 different Muslim countries. I'm not Muslim, 18 different countries, and we put them through those paces that they can go back and do a job. There's another course starting from the 1st of September in South Africa, for 2 months, 1st of September to the 30th of October. Any young man who feels like doing dawah work, propagation, we give them a free air ticket from wherever you are to our country. Visa is no problem. You see, we have the government, we know how to manipulate them. As bad as they are, we can get around them. Here, I say it's getting, first we want charity begins at home. We are there at home, and we are also, in other words, we are also learning. See, have these people, we have teething troubles, all that, instead of coming here, and then we find that, making a mess of it, we rather do things at home. So we had the people there 2 months, free boarding, free lodging, free air ticket. We're starting another one. And I have in mind, you see, I went to Cambridge University, and that gave me some ideas. I saw the youth there at the Cambridge University, the Muslim youth, they are on fire. They want to do propagation. They want to give battle to the Christians. I said, right. Then for people like that, we're going to have a 10-day course, only 10 days. In 10 days' time, we'll give you a sledgehammer, how to crack the Jalut's skull. Inshallah, we start with Cambridge, we start with Oxford, and inshallah, around here as well. But for the moment, we are having this 2 months course in South Africa. Right. Inshallah, you make the application, you come and then you come back and teach. Yes, make the application, we will go through it. We want soldiers now. You see, people who had their days, retired gentlemen, this and now as an ornament you want to have this information, useless. We want the type of young men who can go and knock at people's doors. Because the Christians who are knocking at your doors are not DDs. They are not doctors of disease. They are not reverends. They are not bishops. They are ordinary people. See, they are worked up. We want ordinary young men who have the guts to go and knock at people's doors. That type of young men we want now. The first batch we had was all those degreed people. Now the degreed people, now we discuss, the mentality is different. They feel ashamed. They feel ashamed to go along and knock at people's doors. So now we are going for the younger generation, who we can set them on fire. Go. We give you a sledgehammer, go and crack the Jalut's skull, Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please. Oh.
Your mission to provoke the awareness that the Christian missionaries are working in Muslim countries and are converting Muslims to Christians. The question is, after this awareness, what positive steps do you intend to take or do you propose to take?
The positive step is already being taken. As I said, we are conducting a course. We have conducted one already. We are conducting another one. At the present moment, from tomorrow, there is another 10-day course taking place for the local students, young men, 10 day. We turn them out, we churn them out with a sledgehammer, arm them, go along and do the job. So we are working in that field, but the world is so vast and we need more manpower. We need people to come along, learn and come and teach. Because one man or half a dozen men, there's a limit to what we can do. Compared to the Christians, they have millions, hundreds of thousands. At the present moment, there are 70,000 crusaders occupied in the world today, out of whom 60% are Americans. See? They are boasting that they perverted more Pakistanis into Christianity since independence than in the previous 150 years of British rule. They are boasting they perverted more Bangladeshis into Christianity since independence than in the previous 150 years of British rule. They have converted more than 15 million Indonesians into Christianity. And by the turn of the century, they want to make Indonesia a Christian nation. We know what's going on. But the Muslim, he is lakhs, 3 lakhs, we are 1,000 million. In Pakistan, we are 100 million. I said, look, what is this number? 72 Christian units are working around Peshawar among the Mujahideen and the Muhajirin. 72 as against 6 Muslim units. They have perverted so many Mujahideens into Christianity. The Christians are boasting. It will be another subject once I come. I'll show you what is going on in the world. But for the moment, we need the younger generation to volunteer. Come, man, come. We give you free air ticket. which you never had in your life before, a thing like that. Free air ticket, free boarding, lodging, free tuition, free videotapes, all our tapes when you go back with all our videotapes, all free. Go and do something, man. We want to arm our people.
Modern technology is so relevant today. Why can't we harness up the sky like how these Algerians, even America does it?
Money, yeah. Look, our people can't buy this for £5. And you want me to work with satellites?
في سؤال للسيدات. في سؤال للسيدات.
Inshallah.
One lady, wait a minute. A lady, I think, some lady sent a question. A question says, a number of Muslims objected to receive money for teaching the Quran. What does Islam say about that?
I will answer this. Let me read it again to absorb what our sister is really seeking. A number of Muslims object to receive money for teaching Quran. Oh, what does Islam say about it? What she's talking about is there are people that were prepared to teach free of charge without taking any returns. I think if that is what it means, well, it's a person's business. You want to teach free, you can't force a person to accept money if the person can afford. But if you say, there are people, Muslims, who are saying that we can't give the Quran to non-Muslims. That's a different thing. There are Muslims who are objecting to us giving the Quran to non-Muslims. What do we do? Now that's a problem, because there are Muslims, see, who will discourage you. They won't do it themselves. And when you are giving to somebody, they object, they say you're going to go to hell for giving the Quran, because they quote the Quranic ayah, لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. So none shall touch it except those that are pure. And we know that they are not pure. Their personal hygiene, compared to ours, they are far off. What to do? What are we to do? I said, look, the example for that is those 5 letters our Nabi Kareem sent out. Every letter began with the first verse of the Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Right in the middle of that letter, another verse of the Quran. So, if it was haram to give to a non-Muslim, our Nabi did it. So, if Allah Bari Ta'ala is going to choke me up for what I'm doing, He'll have to choke up His Nabi as well. So, I'm in good company. I have nothing to worry about. And nor have you anything to worry about. Look, this is the example of our Nabi. He could ill afford what he gave, but he gave 2 ayahs. I said, if he had the Quran, he would have given the whole Quran to the whole world, if he could have afforded it.
There is a question, it is not relevant to the lecture, but anyhow I will read it. Are organ transplants allowed in Islam?
This is for our sheikhs to answer. Inshallah, one day when you have time, come and catch the sheikh, he will give you the appropriate answer.
Right. I was arguing with a Christian today about Islam, Christianity. He said that there is no any paradise, nor hell. Please comment.
These are the sick people called Jehovah's Witnesses. This is the sick people. What you have to do is, please get these books of mine. Whoever wrote this, books are free. Is the Bible God's word? What is his name? This will arm you to crack his skull. You don't start waiting and asking him to tell you, create problems for you. As soon as the man comes along, any Jehovah's Witness, get this book of mine. What the Bible is the Bible God's word? Open page 13. Easy to remember. Unlucky number for the Jehovah's Witness. Page 13. Show him. It's a page from his Awake magazine. Awake. They have a way of their own, the type of calligraphy that they use, the art. You show the Jehovah's Witness, is this yours? Is this yours? And he recognizes this is his. So you know it says 50,000 errors in the Bible. So what? He said, look, it says 50,000 errors in the Bible. Is it true? He said, where did you get it? I said, look, is this yours? He said, yes. This is 50. The guy will never knock on your door again. You don't have to start waiting for the fellow to come along with, heaven and hell. What's the use of proving heaven and hell? And the guy says, still, but you got no salvation. The Quran is not Allah's kalam, but the Bible is. Go to the heart of the matter, the root of the matter. Take away his burhan. Give battle to his burhan. Show that this is all hocus pocus, man. This is all man-made. Prove it to him, as we have been trying to do in the past. And there is a debate taking place. Actually, I came to prepare the way for this August debate. There's a debate taking place in August in Birmingham, NEC, the National Exhibition Center, between this Palestinian Christian, Shorosh, and myself. We had a debate here in the Royal Albert Hall. He wants to now have what is called in boxing a revenge bout. He wants to have his own back. And the subject is the Quran or the Bible, which is God's word. He wants to involve the Quran. So far, we have kept the Quran out of the battle, but the guy has forced us into the situation where he wants to discuss the Quran as well. Right? So we will discuss the Quran or the Bible between the two, which is Allah's Kalam. And it should be very interesting. It's on Sunday the 7th of August. If you people, book that day for, I'd like to see you all there. Give me at least that moral support to see my Muslim brethren. And don't be like what we usually are. We are too placid. When a Muslim makes a point, we appreciate it. It's alhamdulillah, mashallah. But nobody knows. So to the Christian, our case is going by default. Say, this guy's just babbling, nobody appreciates it. When the Christian makes the slightest something, then the Christians, oh, hooray, and what an hallelujah. So we don't have to do all that, but at least a small applause, you see, from you all will be worth $1 million there. So please, we'd like to see you there. Bring your Christian friends along as well, and your wives and children. Special accommodation will be reserved for the ladies.
This question about usury, about riba, I think has no any relevance to ask this question. Yes.
Mr. Deedat, your book shows some of the pages has been taken away. Could you tell us the reason for it?
No, the choice was not, you see what they did was, somebody I think in Singapore, they took all my booklets and they put them together, into one book form, and they gave the name Choice. We are giving out separately what the Bible says about Muhammad, is the Bible God's word, Christ in Islam, what was the sign of Jonah, all these are our separate booklets which we give out. So these people, they put them all together into one book form, and what they have taken out, maybe it's about that some portion. I had written a book on Al-Quran, the ultimate miracle, which, we have disowned that now. This guy, Rashad Khalifa, he did through me with that discovery, and now a sickness has gone to his head. Quite some time now, I will do the book and the videotape and all. At the moment, he's claiming that he is the new Rasulullah. Allah has sent him to the world. So the sickness has grown. So he said, now for that reason, I'm sure somebody might have taken out the pages.